Well,
It's a bit much. Really a bit
it's called
much.
rock.
I'm past my prime, obviously. So how is that rebound doing this Thursday morning? A look at the pre-market action. I see plenty of green, adding to yesterday's gains. And here's one of our many guests who have been consistently bullish, the one and only Michael Lee. All right, obvious first question. Mike Lee, where do we go from here?
Hey, Stuart, I still think we continue to grind higher. I think now that the market seems comfortable with the taper, I would say I expected that taper to come a little bit later and be a little bit more gradual, but it seems like we're going to get an announcement in November, and from January to June or July, the taper, the bond buying program will stop. You'll still have an $8 to $9 trillion balance sheet with principal and interest being reinvested. I think at some point in the spring or the summer, the market becomes myopically focused on when does balance sheet runoff and rate liftoff begin. Those are two separate events. So, and I think, go ahead, sir.
So the direction is still up. Okay. I want you to deal with this Evergrande situation as well. China's asking local governments to prepare for what they call a storm, like the collapse of Evergrande. Perhaps local governments would take over some of their properties. And they are organizing groups to suppress protests. So, Mike, is Evergrande over?
Well, as a company, yeah, I think that company is over. What I'm interested to see is
to our market.
Well, no. I think this looms large. What are the Chinese going to do to stop the systemic risk of this? Because I think behind the scenes they're trying to figure out what the dominoes falling will look like and doing everything they can to get in front of that. But that's definitely a risk that overhangs our market. Ideally, it's contained to China and not too much international contagion. But we'll see. But that's definitely a risk that overhangs the market that didn't a couple weeks ago.
But the direction is still up, according to Mike Lee. Correct?
Yeah, correct, until I'd say some point at next summer when the market becomes myopically focused on what the next move is for the Fed. And I think you end up in a sideways market then for 6 to 12 months and then higher. We're in a bull market, so the direction for the next 3 to 5 years is higher. I think you're going to have some small corrections and some sideways markets at points, but there's simply too much cash on the sideline for there to be massive sell-offs or massive corrections, in my opinion.
We hear you loudly and clearly, Mike Lee. Thanks for being with us this Thursday morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stuart.